All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you all are doing well. I don't know about you all, but I don't know if the charts are looking too well. The charts probably look okay. Carlo, good morning. Knight, good morning. John, good morning. If you're coming in just now, come in, say hello. Don't just lurk in the background. Marcel, good morning. Trying to wake up. Got the caffeine and the water. I was already out working on the car this morning. Just never stops. Hope you all are doing good. Hopefully, got some good weekend plans. Maybe get out in the sun a little bit. I know I certainly will be. And I haven't worked out in a couple days. Naughty. I need to get back in there. Starting to freak out. Letting some people flow in, and we're going to get going on this fine Friday morning. Wendell, good morning. Divine, good morning. RD, good morning. What state are you in? I'm in Florida. And I'm on the west coast of Florida, so I will be enjoying some nice beaches this weekend. Colorado, RD. Beautiful place. I think I've talked to you about it before, RD. I think you've said you're from Colorado before. Darwin, Australia. Down under. Very nice. Divine, I've actually I've worked with a lot of Australians when I was still in the military. Always a fun lot to hang out with. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well. Let's talk about some things. Before I do that, let's talk about how I'm not a financial advisor. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express imply word of any kind, including words of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Fantastic. All right. So let's talk about the 3-day cycle real quick, because there's always consistent questions, and I'm sure there will be consistent questions from now until the end of time about why is the spread so big? Oh, I guess it's really not. Anyways, about the 3-day cycle. Way back when George Douglas Taylor realized or recognized that the market moved in a cyclic pattern, all right? 2 to 3 days up, or 2 to 3 days down, excuse me, and then you have a buy day followed by follow through and continuation. So let's just, talk about that cycle real quick. I'm just going to start out this morning with a little bit of discussion. If we're in a weekly template, let's say that weeks are breaking out to the upside, for example. So you'd have maybe a previously down moving market, and then you had a week that created a high and a low. So that would be your consolidated week, right? And then you have a breakout week, which is week 2. And if you're coming into week 3, or really having just identified a up moving market, so maybe we were even in, let's call this, we'll call this 3. So we've got week 3, which will, essentially reset, but we'll just consider this the beginning of an up moving market. We have breakout week 1, breakout week 2. So we've identified that now the market, is going up. If we're in an up moving market because the market is making higher highs and higher lows, we're breaking out and going higher. On this week here, or maybe even this week here, on the week after we've identified that we're going higher, we can start looking for 3-week or weekly templates or 3-day cycles that indicate to us that the market could go higher. Okay, so for example, we're in breakout week 1. Monday opens up. What could you expect? What could you see? It could have even happened. It could have even began from last Friday. Remember, the 3-day cycle resets with a breakout that fails at the high of the week or the low of the week. So we could have a Monday that turns into a high, and then on day 2 that trades away from that high. And then maybe it even gives a maybe like a peak formation at the low of the week, which would reset the cycle again. Or maybe even it just closes in breakout and then the day ends. And then on the next day, maybe this is Wednesday, or maybe this is Tuesday, right? You get the day 3 reset that could turn into a first green day, right? This would be like a reset. We get a day 1. And then now we have a low at the low of the week. First green day, maybe we don't have the opportunity to buy on this day because it was choppy or messy or whatever, but now we have a first green day. On the next day, we might even get a little bit of follow through and a breakout. Maybe this is now breakout day 1. And then on day 3, looking to go back towards the high of the week. Now, this is only one style of template. Obviously, there's a lot more. You can also have opening range breakout templates where Monday, Tuesday just starts climbing higher, right? So you have a breakout day. Maybe this was day 1 of the cycle. Maybe it was a reset from the previous week for the cycle. Regardless, you got maybe 1 and then breakout day 2, or breakout day 1, but on day 2. And then day 3 looking to go higher, things like that. Really don't overcomplicate the idea behind it is just to find the cyclic pattern. All right, it's a 3-day pattern. You have a breakout that fails. That's the beginning. So that starts day 1. On day 2, you can find an inside bar or maybe a first green or a first red day. And then looking for continuations or reversals on day 3. But the big takeaway from that is you can look at the weekly levels and see which way we've been going. And the reason I even bring this up today is because I've just noticed a few pairs where it's relevant. We need to pay attention to, number 1, like for example, gold, having been in consolidation now for all of these weeks. It might be very difficult to find a good cyclic rhythm and a good 3-day cycle because we're in a trading range, right? We're not in breakout in a direction. We're in a trading range. And it can be very difficult to use the 3-day cycle in a trading range because we're just bouncing off the high and bouncing off the low. It's kind of a different cyclic pattern. Okay. There's other instruments like the NASDAQ, which have not triggered previous week's levels. All right. We have a previous week's high and a previous week's low. And we've been on the inside of them the entire week. And then looking at these from previous weeks, if you look back over here, they had a breakout that failed the following week here. So now we have a low in place. They've gone back to the high, and that has also failed. So now we have a high in place. So we have a peak formation low put in place from this week. We have a peak formation high put in from this week. And then now we're just sitting in the middle. No weekly levels have been triggered, and we're just sitting on the inside. So this is going to be historically a little bit more difficult to trade because we're in a trading range. We failed to go lower, we failed to go higher, and now we're sitting on the inside. I think I even made this was a long time ago, and I didn't even do that well, but this is how I identified trading ranges, and it's actually a really good way of doing it. All right, just using previous week's levels or previous day's levels to figure out where your consolidations are. So looking at today, what could I actually be looking for? We haven't triggered any weekly levels. That's kind of, maybe I should stay away from this. Maybe I should just find something else that has. So let's go to US 30. US 30 has also not triggered weekly levels. We've got breakout week 1, we have breakout week 2, and we have not triggered anything this week. In the week, though, we had the dump. This was the buy day, right? Or the first green. Low of week, day 1 of the cycle. Day 2 of the cycle, breakout. Day 3, a bit of a reset. Breakout day 2. And then we get a little gap down, and then now we have today. I don't know what it's going to do. And because of the, we haven't triggered weekly levels, I think I may leave this alone. And let's go to gold. Again, something that's in a trading range. In between a high and a low, just sitting in a range. Okay, let's go to the Russell. The Russell has triggered weekly levels. Do I have a template? Back over here, we had a breakout week 1. So potentially an up-moving market now. They closed this week. And this is a good example, I think. I can show you all with candles using the weekly cycle. This is, or not a weekly cycle, excuse me, the daily cycle, 3-day cycle. Breakout week 1. Reset day 1 of the cycle. Day 2 of the cycle was a breakout. So now we have 2 days of decline. There's your buy day. There's your first green day. And then on the news, going back up. Okay, so breakout. This was day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 3 was actually an inside bar. And whenever you have an inside bar on day 3, I shift it over to the next day. And I'll reset day 3. The move that I was looking for here, I will look for over here. All right. So coming into this week, it looks like we've had 2 weeks of breakouts going higher. Right? 1, 2. Yeah, so we're into the 3rd week. We're into the 3rd week going higher. Yeah. All right, great. 3rd week going higher. And this is, wow, 2 minutes to the open. This is what we're looking like. Very interesting. Closed in breakout yesterday. So I'm going to project that across. Whew, thesis might be a little slim today. We did trigger the previous day's level. Day 1, day 2 breakouts. This was actually day 1 of the cycle back over here. We're into the 3rd week of breakouts. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 3 resets to day 1. And typically trading away from peak formations. The Russell is my best candidate right now. In looking at these, because this is the only one that has triggered a weekly level. It's also triggered a daily level today, which also puts it higher on the list. Let's go to oil. Yeah, and it's yeah, exactly. Yep. ES also triggered weekly levels. I'll take a look at that, John. Thank you. Okay, oil. Yeah, it looks like I had this marked out like this. So this is the, we had a first green week last week on oil, and they have made a higher high. Day 1 of the 3-day cycle, day 2. Day 2 is a breakout day. I think realistically, the only thing on this I should be looking for would be parabolic continuation. What was that? Yesterday afternoon, 13:30? What happened yesterday at 1:30 p.m.? Someone say something? has triggered weekly levels. So oil is also up there on the list. Let's take a look at ES real quick. Yeah, this one. No, not this one. Okay, ES. Yeah, this one's actually looks a little bit different, doesn't it? We had a weekly level. I think this is also the high of the current month. Yeah. So we're back at the high of the current month on ES. And we've even pulled back down. Day 1 of the cycle on Tuesday. Breakout day 1, 2. Looking at today. Oh, Cracker Barrel. All right. Okay, yep. Don't really know what I'm doing on gold. I'm going to watch oil. I'm going to watch these other two. Can I go? Yes, I can. Nice. All right, so I've got S&P up here, top left. We've got oil in the middle. I think I'm actually going to put the Russell in the middle. I'm going to put oil over here on the right. And I'm going to remove my list because I don't need any other pair. I'm going to come down here to a 5-minute chart and take a look. We have lower lows and lower highs. The S&P coming up and creating a higher high on the day. No, it has not created a higher high on the day. This is a 1-bar range. That pullback doesn't count. 9:33. So we're into the first 5 minutes of the New York session. Let's take a look at the news calendar. I just need to remind myself real quick because they've been lying to us lately between Forex Factory and what in the world? This thing is huge. There we go. Friday. Today. We had it at 8:30. Nothing else. Fantastic. What are y'all seeing? Do y'all see any I mean, I don't watch any other pairs, but if you all see something else, let me know. I'll go take a look at it. Really hoping for just a quick, something easy. Quick and easy. We could be done with the stream. We can go on with our wonderful weekend. Let's see, I saw dollar yen. What setup are we looking at on dollar yen? Has not triggered a daily level. We closed in breakout yesterday, so the breakout level could be our level. Day one of the cycle on Wednesday. We had a breakout day one on Thursday. Looking for a trend trade today on Friday. Would want to see the market start making lower lows and lower highs. It looks like maybe it hasn't quite done that yet. You guys think gold might hit yesterday's New York session high and then reverse? Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. FX book calendar, news, Michigan consumer. Yeah, Michigan consumer sentiment's usually red. It's not on Forex Factory. Brother, if Tuesday breaks Monday's high and close above, that's a day one of breakouts. Or it could be a day one of breakouts, depending on how many days it's already gone that direction per week. Remember, the 3-day cycle, the days of breakouts, and then the weekly template are different things. Not to be confused. Now, the templates can be about the same. There can be templates within the 3-day cycle and templates within the weekly template, right? They're just essentially patterns that you're looking for. All of those things can be on the inside. But just for the sake of, naming things, the 3-day cycle starts with a failed breakout. It can be reset. If there is no failed breakout on day 3, it can be reset. But ultimately, you're looking for a template. You're not just, oh, it's day 3 today, time to do whatever. No, was it a part of the playbook? Is that template you're in a part of the playbook? $9.39. All right, we're into essentially the first 10 minutes now. As rejected. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking the I'm kind of liking both of these. In fact, I kind of want to let's do a little something right here. Sometimes I like to just get a better visual. Where's my 'Look at that. Looks like maybe we didn't break down just enough. What is this other little line here? I don't need that. Nas rejected off breakout and broke low of day. NASDAQ hasn't triggered a weekly level. So I'm not messing with that one, I don't think. I do not think. One minute and 32 seconds left on this bar. What will it do? Paulie, welcome back. I'm glad that you found us. Yeah, Paulie, I had some stuff to do the other day, so I couldn't make the stream. And I had posted it on Discord trying to let everybody know. But I know that not everybody sees those messages, so. Okay, I think US 30 was another one. Still hadn't triggered weekly levels, so I don't even know why I have this up on my screen. What did I have up here? Oil. That looks like garbage. Not good. It does not look good. Well, I was live yesterday, Paulie. I just wasn't live 2 days ago. I wasn't live on Wednesday. NQ dump. Well, I think S&P, I'm watching the S&P. We've broken down. We've gone sideways for a bar. We're at the breakout level from yesterday. It's potentially failed. We've broken down, started making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, I think I'm going to look at the low of the day minus, what is this, 5 points? Low of day minus 5 points. That's what I'm shooting for. I've already pulled one contract off. Can I get my low of day 5? Yep, there we go. Whoever shouted out the S&P, John. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm going to show you all what happened. I had a little scalp in there. Padded my position for the day. And then I got back in. And then I sized in. And then it followed through. And then I got out. A few minis to end the day. Not bad. So let's chit chat real. Very nice, John. Very nice. Heck yeah. Quick, easy, done. So let's pull this up. Okay. Like I said, this is the ES. The initial breakdown here. We had a breakout fake out bar from the news. We broke down. We closed lower, which is a part of my entry process. We had a breakout fake out bar, trap volume. Broke down. On the pin, I sold. And then it retested the low of the bar, and I got out. Okay, it was a quick scalp. Fast, easy. And the reason that I did that was I wanted to see what the next bar was going to do. And this is that bar that turned into the pin hammer. So I sold the break of the low of the pin hammer. And it closed like this, which was really good. So at the break of this bar, I sold again. And at the low of the day, I bought one of my contracts back. And then on the follow through down, I got out again. So I got in, I got out, I got back in, I added more, and then I got out, and I got out. All right. Larger thesis being, low is in place day 1, day 2. Day 3 goes to the high. Day 1. Day 2. But more importantly, it closed in breakout, right? You can actually just remove all of that and just say, yesterday closed in breakout. We're at the high of the week. Today, is the breakout succeeding or is it failing? It looks like it's failing. All right. Here's the low of day. Still making lower lows and lower highs. Had pumped it back up and failed to go higher. Broke down 930. Sideways bar. And this is the pin hammer that I was selling the break of. Right here. All right, sell the break. Got out at low of day. Got out at 5 points below the low of day. Oh, on here it's a little bit different. On my futures broker, it's 5 points down. See what 10 a.m. does? Yeah, I mean, right? It really could. It could be a strong reversal. 10 o'clock, maybe. But also, can I cancel ads? Dang, sorry, missed it. Missed it. I always try to get it, but I missed that one. My bad. Okay. So the reason I chose this one is at 9:30 was doing the thing that makes the most sense. It broke down, it went sideways. That's my setup, and it goes and follows through. Does the Russell still have potential? Well, we're at the high of the day. We're at the closing price. The breakout, similarly, could be about to fail. I don't know what this bar is going to do, but this could be a high, a breakout, fake out bar. This could be the middle structure of a peak formation at the high of the day. This bar would have to close like this and not pin. We've triggered the previous day's low, which is it could be a lower low on a daily scale. They pumped it back up for the lower high retest. Not to say for sure. If it pins, I'm walking away. I'll just see y'all tomorrow or Monday. It pins, I leave. It breaks down, I stay. <sighs> 14 seconds. 12. 10. 8. 5. 3. 1. Okay. Yeah. Let's go on over here to Russell and take a look. All right, we've broken down. Do we go sideways for a bar? Peace, I appreciate that. And good to see you come out of the lurk. You're coming out of the lurk. You've come forward. Good stuff. I just sprayed water on myself. It's going to be a great day. I kind of hope that this one, I hope this bar does, on the 1 minute, it looks like it's not going to. But I really hope this bar consolidates for a bar. And then I hope we get follow through on the next bar into the new hour. Although if it does close back below this bar's high, the breakout of this bar could fail. And we're also consolidating under the EMA. Holy cow, the S&P said, nah, I think I'll just go all the way to previous day's low. Wow. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on this bar. Is it going to follow through before I can even get in? And now we have moved very far away from the EMA, which is fine. It could just continue. But as far as like getting in, like entries, that's kind of far away. Yeah, it could, John. This is a good setup. This is a good setup. I may have I did a good thing. So you all know, all 55 of you in here right now have been trading with me for a while. You know my biggest thing that I've been trying to work on, which is getting in with multiple positions instead of just one, getting out at a level and then holding for a bit more of an expansion of the move, which I did a very good job of today. I did exactly what I said. Low of day, 5 points below the low of the day, get out. Now looking at the move, it's like, maybe I could have just put one more on there and then held it for previous day's low. Maybe. I don't want to discount the fact that that's still improvement. I still did what I wanted to do, and I held for the move, more of the move. So I'll pat myself on the back for that. But I'm definitely going to continue evaluating my lifetime performance for holding things. My entries are pretty solid. But my exits, I tend to be a little too conservative. All right, we've broken down. We maybe even gone sideways for a bar. Ooh, okay. I don't know if that's the right kind of sideways that I want to see. That's a scary kind of sideways. That's a bar that's failing to go lower very aggressively. Okay. $10 a.m. reversal club at low of day. Watch out. John, I had two minis on there. So not exactly really big. Let's see. Okay, so this price action wise, we had a bar that failed to go lower. It's on a 5 minute. Okay, at 15 minute, we do have a 1, 2, and a 3. Which means that we should have trap volume above this bar's high in P2 and up into P3. P1 grabs people's attention. P2 forces you to buy high. P3 traps you at the worst possible place. And then the market should reverse. The only thing is on the 15, we are above the EMA, which I don't really care about, if I'm being honest. We're below here. That's a solid plan, Carlo. It's a solid plan. Sounds like you're definitive about it too. This is what I do every time. Good stuff, John. Yeah. And you're right. I should probably tell myself that more often. You know, don't be upset with a win, but for the sake of consistently trying to be better, right? Trying to get better, trying to improve. That's like my big thing that I want to work on. Making the wins count a little bit more. To get more out of your trades, speak with a Danish accent. I think you might be referring to Tom. And if you are, that's pretty funny. If he's Danish. I actually don't remember. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, look at the one. See how we're getting closer together? That's a little that's always a little scary to me. Kind of makes me start to think maybe we're working the high or working the low. Now, this is only a 1 minute chart. 5 minute looks really good. Big fan of the 5. And we've just broken the low of the, we'll call it sideways. It's really not sideways. It was a bar that failed to go lower. But that can be fine, you know. Well, this might be a shame. So I was willing to take this. If the bar would have closed above previous day's high or previous day's low, I was going to try and catch the pen back up to sell it back down into and through. I wonder if we're setting up for an expansion. Or if this is just going to go vertical into the low of the day and reverse. Spread, they just opened it back up, and now they're actually going vertical. It kind of hurts. It kind of feels like maybe I've butchered this one. I should have been in. I should have been in a long time ago. This bar kind of threw me off. So what I really like to see is, I always like compression. I love compression. Whenever, so like for example, when a bar, actually I don't even need to do this. I can just show you on over here on the S&P like this. This is compression. We've broken down, which is good. And we have compression in this area here so that we can get contraction. That's the real word for it, right? We have contraction. We've expanded, we've broken, we've contracted, and now we can go into another period of expansion. Some may have heard it as rally-based rally or rally-based drop. It doesn't matter what you call it. There's 1,000 different ways to describe it. This is what I like to see. So when they threw this wick all the way down here, I don't really know where to get in. And that's just being honest. I don't know where to get in. I guess maybe the failure to go higher at the EMA. Used a different method of entry that I don't normally use. Yeah, no need to force. Especially, I've already had a really good trade today. I don't really feel like I need to take another one. I think that I was in the right trade. I just didn't hold it long enough. But this was the trade, right? So is this. But a really good read on both. Look at this. We got traps above P2. They're not letting those people out. Like, it looks really good. Very clean. Very clean. Very clean. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end here because I think that this has juice, but I'm not going to try and squeeze it. I'm going to put my squeezer back in the pantry, and I'm going to go about my day because I've already had a really good trade. And there's no point. There's no point. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great rest of your day and have a good weekend. Get out and enjoy yourself. Get out in the sun if you can. Get away from the computer. Do your study. Do your work. But get away. Make sure you're working out. Hit the gym. Maybe go for a walk. Get your steps in. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Actually, is there a holiday Monday? If there's a holiday, I won't see you on Monday. If there isn't, I will see you Monday, 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time, ready to go, ready to trade. See you all then. Bye-bye.